hazardous to small craft. Inexperienced mariners, especially those operating smaller vessels, should avoid navigating in hazardous conditions. This is a statement from the National Weather Service. Small craft advisory now in effect until 2 a.m. Friday. Small craft advisory in effect from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Friday. For the first small craft advisory, south winds 5 to 10 knots with gusts up to 20 knots. For the second small craft advisory, west winds 10 to 15 knots with gusts up to 25 knots expected. The areas affected include tidal Potomac River from Key Bridge to Cobb Island, Maryland, Chesapeake Bay north of Pools Island, Maryland, and Patapsco River including Baltimore Harbor. The hazardous weather conditions are expected for the small craft advisory until 2 a.m. Friday. For the small craft advisory from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Friday. Impacts, conditions will be hazardous to small craft. Inexperienced mariners, especially those operating smaller vessels, should avoid navigating in hazardous conditions. The latest river levels in the Potomac, Shenandoah, and Rappahannock basins are as follows. All reports are current as of 7 p.m. and are measured in feet. For Potomac River at Shepherdstown, 3.4. Potomac River at Point of Rocks, 2.8. Potomac River at Edwards Ferry, 5.2. Potomac River at Little Falls, 3.8. North Fork Shenandoah River near Strasburg, 2.5. South Fork Shenandoah River at Front Royal, 2.1. Shenandoah River at Millville, 3.2. Rappahannock River at Remington, 4.4. Rappahannock River above Fredericksburg, 3.9. Rapidan River near Culpeper, 2.5. Opecon Creek near Martinsburg, 2.5. Seneca Creek at Dawsonville, 2.3. Goose Creek near Leesburg, 2.3. Monocacy River at Frederick, 3.5. The 7 p.m. observation in Washington. At Reagan National Airport, with drizzle and fog. The temperature was 52 degrees Fahrenheit, or 11 degrees Celsius. Dew point 49. Humidity was 89%. Winds were northeast at 9 miles an hour and the barometric pressure was 29.74 inches or 1007.1 millibars.
Alrighty guys, what is going on? I hope you guys are doing good. Glad to see you all here for tonight. We're going to go ahead and get to the stream here right in 1 second. But obviously guys, like I said, if you are just now joining us, welcome. Hope you guys are doing good and hope you guys have been staying safe here. So we're going to be talking about this upcoming snow potential that we have been looking at here for the last little bit here. And obviously, you know, what the models have been showing here recently is actually kind of interesting. Okay, like I said, we are, you know, now we're in spring here, but, you know, the threat for winter weather is still here. And it will be for a little bit of time to come here. So, because we've seen some snowstorms here in April as well. Now, does that mean we're going to have some snowstorms in April? It's unknown. We'll go ahead and continue monitoring this. All we know is that there is going to be possibility for a potential snowstorm here down the line. We'll talk about this more here in a second. Matt says, good evening, Andrew. What's up, Matt? Welcome back to the live stream. Glad to see you all here. Glad to see you here. I hope you are doing good, and I hope that you are staying safe with all the craziness that's going on right now. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get right on into it, guys. Like I said, we do have a severe threat for today. It's a marginal risk across bits of the mid-Atlantic as well as the southeast. This does include Orlando as well. So we're going to go ahead and switch on right on into it, guys. So like I said, hope y'all are doing good. Glad to see you guys here for today. Hope you guys have been staying safe and, you know, everything like that. Like I said, we currently do have a bit of severe activity going on here at the moment. There is no active warnings, as I do believe. There's a special weather statement in effect, but that's for that's not really anything for severe potential here. So, like I said, y'all, if y'all are just now joining us, welcome. Hope you guys have been doing good, and I hope you all are staying safe here. So we're going to go ahead and start off here across the southeast. We're talking right here towards Florida. This does include Orlando, Lake Wells, Palm Bay, basically just north here of West Palm Beach. This is a marginal risk for severe thunderstorms for today. Basically the lowest end of the spectrum, showing that severe weather is possible. in regard to things here. So in regard to tornadoes, there is a 2% chance we could see a tornado across the regions here. Atmosphere is favorable for possible tornadoes across the highlighted area here. We move into hail. There is no hail threat, and there is also a 5% wind damage threat, basically showing that winds could get up to 60 mile per hour wind gusts with some of these thunderstorms here. So tornadoes and some wind gusts is kind of expected here. But like I said, this is on the lowest tier, the lowest end of things. So, but that's what we're looking at here. So, and then we move up to the north. Like I said, we do have another severe threat here across the mid-Atlantic. This is for southeastern Virginia. This also does include northeastern, or basically northeastern North Carolina here. This also does include Virginia Beach. We are seeing the possibility of maybe some damaging wind gusts being a concern here. In regard to tornadoes, there is actually a 2% chance for tornadoes as well, okay? So we have a chance for tornadoes here across bits of southeastern Virginia, northeastern North Carolina, as well as basically across east central Florida here. Just east of Tampa. This does include Orlando, like I said. This will be in effect here for a little bit longer. Like I said, this is for today's convective outlook here. We've had some hail reports coming in here across southwestern Virginia, kind of towards the Roanoke area here, near the Blacksburg, Virginia area here. Kind of does look like, just pretty much east here of Blacksburg, we have a hail report, but, obviously it's nothing major here, as it does show the hail report of magnitude of 0.3 inches. That is well below the severe criteria, so just some small rice-size hail is been reported here. Nothing too crazy like we have been seeing here over the last few days. We do have a bit of convective showers moving its way through the DC metro area here. Basically just getting ready to cross Interstate 95. You can see this band here towards Prince William County, as well as Fauquier County as well as a few other storms that are currently on their way here to the east. So we're going to watch this here for a little bit here. Lewis says, hi, NWW. What's up, Lua? Welcome to live stream. Glad to see you here again. Hope you are staying safe, and I hope that you're doing good. So, yeah, that's essentially what we're looking at here at the moment. Like I said, there's a small chance for tornadoes, a small chance for damaging winds as well. But, honestly, nothing too crazy. Especially what we have been seeing over the last few days is expected here. Like I said, that's what we're looking at. It's not supposed to be as bad as we are seeing here. Then we move on to the Day 2 convective outlook. We'll go ahead and turn on categorical. There is actually nothing expected here. What is this all about? What is that? Is that a small risk of some sort? I don't know what's going on over here. I don't know if this, whatever this is, it's kind of interesting. Is this kind of towards Bermuda, it kind of looks like. I wonder what this is all about. Yeah, well, let me look at it. I think this is for Bermuda, if I'm not mistaken. No, well, no, never mind. Bermuda's well south of that. I don't know why. I don't know what part of me thought that Bermuda was over here. I think it's been a long day, you guys, okay? It's been a pretty long day here. Let's go see. Christopher says, hi, everyone. What's up, Christopher? Welcome to live stream. Glad to see you here. But yeah, like I said, we just have a small severe threat here for today, for day after tomorrow. This would be on, let's see, today's Thursday, tomorrow's Friday. So tomorrow will be day 2, and day 3 will be on Saturday. So this is for Saturday. There is no active severe threat for the next few days here, except for today, okay? So, like I said, just a few severe storms are possible across the eastern mid-Atlantic, as well as basically this east central portion here of Florida. This does include Orlando. Like I said, some tornadoes and maybe some damaging winds could be a possible scenario. But like I said, it's on the lowest end of the spectrum. It's a little bit... like I said, it's a little bit lower here. But yeah, that's what we're looking at here. So, Blaze says, hi, what's up, Blaze? Welcome to live stream here. Hope you're doing good. Glad to see you here once again. But yeah, like I said, guys, that's basically what we are dealing with here. We do have a few reports going on here towards the Dakotas, not the Carolinas. Dakotas here showing some wind gust reports, 58 mile per hour wind gusts, 56 mile per hour wind gusts here, 53. 55 here, and 51. So we're talking 50 mile per hour wind gusts in regard to things. So that's some pretty strong winds, to be honest with you. But other than that, guys, honestly, it's relatively clear across for the most part, because we just had this mean system drive its way through here. You can even see it on the satellite view across a lot of the southwest and southern plains. It's actually looking relatively clear for the most part in regard to mostly sunshine, but obviously that is getting ready to change here as we are transitioning into nighttime here across the United States. Here on the eastern coast, it's already nighttime now. So, You can obviously see that little line shifting its way through. That's basically the radar turning into infrared mode to look at nighttime scanning. So that's essentially what's going on here. But yeah, like I said, it's nothing as crazy going on here. This system we've been monitoring, or the system that's driven all that severe weather, is now moving its way out of the country, okay? A little bit more severe weather is possible across the mid-Atlantic as well as the southeast. You know, like I said, the east central portion here of Florida. But nothing near as bad as we have been seeing here, like say across southeast and southern plains here. We've seen some pretty nasty tornadoes here. Thank God we were able to cover this live for you guys, because it got pretty nasty. It really did, and I'm glad that I was there to give you guys latest updates and stuff like that, and essentially all that. So guys, I tell you what, we're gonna go ahead and switch on over here to the forecast models, because I'm sure you guys are wondering by the thumbnail of this live stream, Andrew, what's going on here with the weather? Well, let's go ahead and take a look at this. So we're gonna go ahead and switch over to my screen view. In regard to things, okay, the text at the bottom is gone for some reason, but we're taking a look here at the models. Like I said, we are going to see what is happening here. Turning on over to the precipitation type, this basically just splits your rain from your snow, okay? The blue is indicating snow here. The green is indicating rain. You can kind of see the United States shape here. So here's what we're doing. We have the cold front. It's moving its way through the region here currently. This was that same system that did cause all that severe weather to occur. We'll go ahead and track down here in time just a little bit. Maybe some snow showers currently getting ready to impact bits of the upper portions of the Midwest. Nothing too crazy, according to these models here. This will start to impact here, I believe, for tomorrow. Maybe some snow across the Ohio Valley. Maybe some more snow showers than anything here, as well as maybe some across the Northeast. Here's where things get interesting here. You might notice all this moisture driving its way across the western side of the country. This is a pretty average setup we've seen here. Seen multiple times so far this year. A central low pressure develops across the central plains here. We're talking, basically northern Kansas, southern Nebraska, according to your GFS model here. And here's where everything wraps in. We get all of this warm and moisture-filled air driving its way up to the north, right into the central United States. There's a possibility of severe weather with this system as well. We'll also discuss this here in 1 second. But we go ahead and track down here a little bit further. Take a look at this. This whole thing wraps up on itself. This is for the 31st, 30 into the 31st. So we still have a few days away before this does impact, but it's definitely something we should consider watching here. You can see that strong advection going on, all that warm air driving its way from the Gulf of Mexico into the states here. Colder air backing in behind it, causing your cold front. Basically, that cold air overtaking the warm air. And like I said, once that cold air starts backing on the backside, we start to get some snow basically anchored here on the western side here. Jenny says hello. What's up, Jenny? Welcome to the live stream. Glad to see you here. But like I said, we are seeing the possibility of this winter system playing out. Now, according to this model, it's still a little bit too early to tell exactly what is going to happen, exactly what track this is going to take, how much moisture is going to be inside of this system here. But, according to the latest GFS, this is actually showing a decent amount of ice as well with the system. Like I said, that warmer air is just now starting to infiltrate. Basically, all of that Gulf moisture is now starting to flow its way into the states here. Springtime is here. Things are warming up. And that cold air that still lingers across the states due to winter is getting ready to impact with a lot of that warm air that's getting ready to drive its way up here into the country, okay? So we're going to start to see a little bit more severe weather events starting to kick off here, basically due to that interaction between your cold and warm air. The warm air is supplied by the Gulf of Mexico, and the cold air supplied from up north. Like I said, we have been dealing with a lot of cold conditions here, not only at the surface, but across those upper levels of the atmosphere as well. That's how thunderstorms kick off here. That warm interaction between that warm air from the Gulf of Mexico and that cold interaction across the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere here. So like I said, we are going to see some snow that will kind of start falling here across those upper elevations of the Rockies here. This whole system will really take off here. It kind of looks like for the 30th. This is where everything's, all those ingredients are going to start coming together here pretty close. Like I said, snow's going to start developing here across the central plains. Even into bits of the Midwest and the upper Midwest. Could see some snow out of this. That cold front will drive its way across the southeast, maybe delivering more severe weather. Like I said, we're going to discuss this here in a few minutes as well. So you might be wondering, now how long has this been trending on the model? So I'll tell you what, we're going to go ahead and shift down here a model, or a run I should say, the same model, just a different run. This was from earlier today. Now we go ahead and track down here in time overall the same system is still here. Now, the latest model that we've seen, the one before this, was showing a little bit more snow, okay, compared to what the previous run has to say here. This one obviously still shows this, system driving its way through. Still some severe weather potential here across the southeast. Like I said, we'll dive into that here in a second. But, this still does show some snow here, across the region. So we're seeing some support here in regard to the system existing at all. We'll go ahead and drop down another further model here from earlier. Here we go. Here's another support of this, showing obviously a little bit of a different story. So things do need to continue to be ironed out here. But regardless, this whole entire system is still here. That cold front piercing its way through the southeast is still there. Only really the latest run is kind of showing the heaviest snowfall. But, we got to watch this. This is definitely something we cannot just let slide off the radar here. This is something that we definitely have got to continue monitoring here over the next few days. Just a little bit of an early warning for you guys. Like I said, that's why we're mentioning this here. Like I said, this can still change either way. It could change in favor of maybe more snow or in favor of maybe nothing at all. But like I said, I will say that the latest models have been trending that this system actually might occur here. We've been seeing a lot of trending support here, okay? That usually means that confidence is starting to rise. And once confidence starts to rise, that's essentially whenever we could see the potential of maybe, this thing actually playing out at all. Okay, so we're going to continue watching this, you guys. Now, it is a bit too early for totals. I will say this. It is way too early for totals. Like I said, it really depends on how much moisture drives its way in the system here. How much cold air is going to be driven down south, and how cold will that air be? Essentially telling us what kind of precipitation we're going to be expecting. So, like I said, still a little bit too early, but obviously the latest GFS is a bit crazy, showing a lot of heavy snow, as well as maybe some heavy ice here as well. So that's essentially what the models are hinting towards. So I'll tell you what, we are going to go ahead and take a look here at the severe side of this. We're going to take a look here at the energy in the atmosphere, just as simply your thunderstorm fuel. Like I said, we have a little bit of energy here on the eastern U.S., but like I said, this is basically that cold front that's driving its way through the region associated with that crazy system we did see here across the southern plains in the southeast. This will track its way off here, not really causing a concern. Bit quiet here for the next few days across the nation, and then you might notice some of that warm advection going on here across the country. Now, there is a bit of moisture, or sorry, a bit of instability starting to kind of build in here. It looks pretty capped out, basically just a lot of energy pushing down on the atmosphere, which could cause a concern here. Maybe thunderstorms not firing off, but there is a decent amount of instability in the atmosphere, showing that there is a possibility of maybe some severe thunderstorms. Could be a possible scenario here. We're going to watch this here. So we're going to take a sounding. You're going to see some pretty scary graphs here, as you can probably see at the moment. This is actually showing a decent amount of energy in the atmosphere. If a thunderstorm was able to pierce through this lower levels, this would actually allow for, Danielle, thank you so much for subscribing. Greatly appreciated. Like I said, this is a possibility. Maybe some storms could pop off here. Like I said, it's a pretty scary graph to look at, but, like I said, from what I'm seeing, it's actually looking like, it's looking like a possibility of some severe weather here. Then we go to the system that starts driving its way through the region. Now, you might notice all that warm air still continuing to push its way into the country here, maybe delivering a little bit more severe weather here across the southeast. We're going to have to watch this, guys. We're going to see exactly what this does here over the next few days. Like I said, this is a new event that's just now starting to kind of pop up on the radar here, literally, and maybe some instability kind of building in across the Ohio Valley as well. Maybe just showing that we might see some possible thunderstorms across these regions here. So this is basically something we need to continue watching here over the next few days. Like I said, these type of events are going to become more and more common as we do progress here further down into spring. Like I said, we are now in spring. We have been for 4 days now. Okay, like I said, everything's starting to bloom. It's absolutely beautiful outside. I had work today, and going out and just seeing all those blossoms from everything that's starting to bloom. It's just absolutely gorgeous outside. But also, this does wreak some havoc on my allergies as well. I'm sure a lot of people can relate. Unfortunately, it's getting a bit, it's allergy season. Unfortunately, it kind of sucks, but yeah. Daniel says, you're so very welcome. Thank you once again, Daniel. Greatly appreciated. Like I said, guys, we are on the road to 600 subscribers. I believe we can get there soon. You guys are the best. Just always know that. Just know and always be here for you guys no matter what. Like I said, I'm glad that we were able to live stream for you guys during that crazy severe weather event. Hopefully I helped you guys out and kept you guys up to date. And I do plan on doing this the whole entire spring. I mean, from here on out, basically, I'm trying to grow the channel a little bit. So we're gonna see exactly where this channel goes. I mean, I want it to go far. I really do want it to go far, and I want to share the word and keep people informed and updated. So, I'm not gonna quit, guys. I'm gonna keep on pushing at it. That's what we're gonna do here. Because, like I said, all I want is just for you guys to be weather aware, and I want you guys to be safe. During any of the Mother Nature's crazy events. Like I said, we've been seeing some pretty crazy stuff here happen over the last few years, really. Weather's taking an interesting shift here. But that's basically what we're doing here. Like you said, guys, thank you all so much for joining here tonight. Like I said, if you are new to the channel, essentially what we do is we do live streams here every single night at 8 o'clock. We've been live here for about 20 minutes or so. Just to give you guys an update on the weather briefing in terms of what we are seeing here. So if y'all are just now joining us, like I said, you're probably asking about what's going on with the thumbnail. Well, I'll tell you what, latest Gfs model, latest American model, is showing the possibility of maybe a snowstorm driving its way across bits of the central and northern United States here. So we go ahead and track down here in time. Now, the date is right here. It's kind of hard to see. I'll go ahead and zoom out so that I can actually access this. I think my donation thing's kind of in the way here. I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and move this down here for a second. Just for a minute here. So basically, if you want to follow along in the time or the date here, you can see right here, March 24th, 2022. So that is right where the date is. So we go ahead and track down here in time. You might notice that we get a kick in moisture. A lot of green starting to pull its way up here across those upper elevations. Essentially what that is... this is basically precipitation type, basically, splitting your rain from your snow. The blue is showing snow, pink is showing some ice, usually in forms of freezing rain and some sleet here. And like I said, the green being just normal rain here. So, this model has been, showing here for the last little bit here of a little bit of moisture driving its way across the western United States here for the 28th into the 29th. This is only, about 4 days out. So like I said, a lot can still change here between them. But like I said, there's a lot of that upper level moisture currently going on here. You can see some snow falling across those upper elevations here in the blue. This is basically representing some snow that is falling across the regions here. JT says, hi, what's up, JT? Welcome to live stream here. Jonathan, what's up? Welcome to live stream. Glad to see all of you guys here. But like I said, we're going to start to see a lot of that moisture drawing its way in here across the western United States here. Then for the 30th, we're going to start to get a lot of warm air ushering its way in here from the Gulf of Mexico into the States. This is going to be the beginning of a fueling of a new system here kicking off across the country, which could mean potential heavy snow, as well as maybe some thunderstorms here. Like I said, this little green line that you see kind of going across here, this is a cold front, and like I said, there is probably going to be enough energy in the atmosphere to allow for, possibly allowing for maybe some severe weather to kick off here. Definitely a possibility here, and obviously some snow is going to be a concern here, essentially across the central U.S. and the upper Midwest here, being a concern here. Let's go see. Daniel says in London, Ontario, sorry, Canada is going to get snow once again. Snow sucks. I'm sure you guys are definitely used to it up there in Canada. Here, personally, right here, I'm in Virginia, which if you do not know where Virginia is at, it's right here. The Canadian border is like right here. Okay, so I'm about this far south from Canada. We've had a pretty active snow season so far, especially towards the beginning of January. But like I said, unfortunately, I wasn't in Virginia at the time. I was a little bit to the west here. Like I said, Virginia's right here. I was just a little bit to the west here in a state called Kentucky. I was in Kentucky for a little bit. And we did see a little bit of snow in Kentucky. Nothing too crazy. But of course, whenever I'm gone, we get a lot of snow here in Virginia. Which personally, I love snow, but too much of it can kind of be a bit of a pain here. I'm sure a lot of people can agree. It's absolutely beautiful falling, but if you have to work in it, it kind of sucks, not going to lie. We've seen a little bit of above average snowfall across bits of Northern Virginia here recently. As the winter progressed further down the line, it kind of slowed down a little bit, but yeah, that's what we're dealing with here. Let's go see. JT says late March and early April could be active. Honestly, I'm starting to believe so. I'm really starting to believe so. Comparing to what we have been seeing here over the last little bit, I'd say it's definitely a possible scenario here, guys. We're moving in a pretty active weather pattern, it looks like, and seriously, we're gonna see what happens here. But like I said, guys, there is a bit of model support here in regard to essentially the snowstorm forming here for the 30th into the 31st. Like I said, this is still about 6-7 days out. This is about a week out, roughly about a week out here. So a lot can still change. You know, like I said, it just depends on a lot of factors and essentially how cold the atmosphere is going to be and how much moisture is going to drive its way into the country. You know, that still remains a question here. I will say that the models have been saying there's going to be this system existing at all. I mean, over the last several runs here, models have been saying, hey, this system's going to exist. So we're going to see what happens with this. You know, honestly, I believe this does have some potential here. Like I said, just because it's spring does not mean that winter weather is impossible here. In fact, it actually can still happen in quite more frequently than you might think here across March here, and even in April. You know, we can see some April snowstorms, definitely. Maybe even some for May, but usually a bit more north here, and then kind of once June starts to come in, everything's just rain. But yeah, that's essentially what we're talking about, guys. So, everything like that. So, guys, like I said, if you are just now joining us, welcome. Hope you guys are staying safe here. Hope you guys are doing good. You know, it's absolutely sad to see what happened across the southern parts of the country here the other day, but you know, like I said again, I was glad I was able here to cover it for you all. Because like I said, your guys' safety is obviously our number one concern here. That's all I care about. You know, I'm glad to be able to put my knowledge to goodwill and help you guys out in regard to these events here. And, you know, like I said, I hope to continue to do this for as long as I possibly can. Like I said, I do plan on doing YouTube for many years ahead. You know, like, this is the beginning of our YouTube channel, guys. And, you know, hopefully, I'm hoping it goes somewhere. Honestly, I really am. Because I really do enjoy it. And obviously, you guys are absolutely amazing. And, you know, this channel is growing very, very quickly. So guys, you know, cannot thank you enough. You guys absolutely rock. You guys are the best here. So just always know that. Just know that we're going to be here for you guys, essentially, for as long as I can. Okay, so do not feel alone during these crazy weather events here. You know, we will be live for you guys. We usually do go live during these, winter weather and severe weather events here, and all types of craziness that usually kicks off here from Mother Nature in regard to things. Jenny says thank you. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you for being here. You guys are absolutely awesome. Jenny, thank you so much for supporting the channel a lot. Jenny has absolutely helped out our channel so much here. Jenny, seriously, thank you so much for everything you do. It's greatly appreciated. But guys, like I said, we're just now starting to move our way here to 8:30. So I tell you what, we're going to go ahead and head on break here for about 5 or 10 minutes. Like I said, we usually go live here at 8 o'clock. And we take a 5-10 minute break here at the halftime mark. So right now is the time for you guys to sit down, relax, go grab yourself a snack, go grab yourself something to eat or something to drink here. And when we get back here in about 5 or 10 minutes, usually around 8:40 is when we come back here, Eastern time, is whenever we, basically just go over things again here with our new viewers and stuff like that. But tell you what, guys, we're going to be back here in about 5 or 10 minutes or so. So hang tight. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back here basically giving you guys more coverage. If you are new to the channel, guys, consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you guys would like to support the channel, like I said, we are trying to save up here for a new computer. Obviously, we have a bit to go here, but, we're just throwing it out there. We are trying to save up here, but, just you guys being here is obviously enough. So thank you all so much for being here today. You guys are awesome. Just know that you guys rock and that you guys matter. So, guys, like I said, we'll be back here in about 5 or 10 minutes or so, so hang tight. We'll be back here momentarily.
Station WNG736, broadcasting from the National Weather Service Office in Sterling, Virginia, and transmitting on a frequency of 162.450 megahertz from an antenna located in Washington, D.C. This hazardous weather outlook is for the Maryland portion of the Chesapeake Bay, tidal Potomac River, and I-95 corridor through central Maryland, northern Virginia, and District of Columbia. Day 1, tonight. No hazardous weather is expected at this time. Days 2 through 7, Friday through Wednesday. No hazardous weather is expected at this time. Spotter information statement. Spotter activation is not expected at this time. Now for the National Weather Service marine forecast for the Chesapeake Bay from Pools Island to Drum Point. Tonight, north winds 5 knots, becoming northwest after midnight. Waves 1 foot. Rain likely. Patchy fog. Visibility 1 to 3 nautical miles. Friday, west winds 10 to 15 knots with gusts to 20 knots. Waves 1 to 2 feet. Friday night, west winds 5 to 10 knots. Waves 1 to 2 feet. Saturday, west winds 10 to 15 knots with gusts to 20 knots. Waves 1 to 2 feet. A chance of rain. Saturday night, west winds 15 to 20 knots with gusts to 25 knots. Waves 2 feet. Sunday, northwest winds 15 to 20 knots. Waves 2 feet. Now for the National Weather Service marine forecast for the tidal Potomac from Key Bridge to Smith Point. Tonight, west winds 5 knots. Waves less than 1 foot. Patchy fog until midnight. Rain likely until midnight, then a chance of rain after midnight. Visibility 1 to 3 nautical miles. Friday, west winds 10 to 15 knots with gusts to 20 knots. Waves 1 to 2 feet. Friday night, west winds 5 to 10 knots with gusts to 20 knots. Waves 1 to 2 feet. Saturday, west winds 10 to 15 knots with gusts to 25 knots. Waves 1 to 2 feet. A chance of rain. Saturday night, west winds 10 to 15 knots with gusts to 25 knots. Waves 2 feet. Sunday, northwest winds 10 to 15 knots. Waves 2 feet. This is a statement from the National Weather Service. Small craft advisory now in effect until 2 a.m. Friday. Small craft advisory in effect from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Friday. For the first small craft advisory, south winds 5 to 10 knots with gusts up to 20 knots. For the second small craft advisory, west winds 10 to 15 knots with gusts up to 25 knots expected. The areas affected include Chesapeake Bay from Pools Island, Maryland to Smith Point, Virginia, tidal Potomac from Cobb Island, Maryland to Smith Point, Virginia, Chester River to Queenstown, Maryland, Eastern Bay, Choptank River to Cambridge, Maryland and the Little Choptank River, Pawtuxet River to Brooms Island, Maryland, and Tangier Sound and the inland waters surrounding Bloodsworth Island. The hazardous weather conditions are expected for the small craft advisory until 2 a.m. Friday. For the small craft advisory, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Friday. Impacts, conditions will be hazardous to small craft. Inexperienced mariners, especially those operating smaller vessels, should avoid navigating in hazardous conditions. This is a statement from the National Weather Service. Small craft advisory now in effect until 2 a.m. Friday. Small craft advisory in effect from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Friday. For the first small craft advisory, south winds 5 to 10 knots with gusts up to 20 knots. For the second small craft advisory, west winds 10 to 15 knots with gusts up to 25 knots expected. The areas affected include tidal Potomac River from Key Bridge to Cobb Island, Maryland, Chesapeake Bay north of Pools Island, Maryland, and Patapsco River including Baltimore Harbor. The hazardous weather conditions are expected for the small craft advisory until 2 a.m. Friday. For the small craft advisory, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Friday. Impacts, conditions will be hazardous to small craft. Inexperienced mariners, especially those operating smaller vessels, should avoid navigating in hazardous conditions. The 8 p.m. observation in Washington. At Reagan National Airport, with drizzle and fog. The temperature was 51 degrees Fahrenheit, or 11 degrees Celsius. Dew point 49. Humidity was 92%. Winds were northeast at 3 miles an hour and the barometric pressure was 29.73 inches or 1006.7 millibars, and falling. Now for some observations from the surrounding area. At BWI Airport, with light rain and fog which reduced the visibility to 1/2 of a mile. Temperature 50. Winds northeast at 6 miles an hour. At Charlottesville, cloudy skies. 57. At Dulles Airport, with light rain and fog. Temperature 55 degrees. Wind southeast at 5 miles an hour. At Fredericksburg, light rain was falling. Visibility 10 miles. Wind was calm. And the pressure was 29.70 inches and steady. At Martinsburg, cloudy skies. 51. Wind ceased at 6 miles an hour. At Norfolk, cloudy. Temperature 68 degrees. At Ocean City, fog was reported. It was 55 degrees. At Pawtuxet River Naval Air Station, with light rain and fog which reduced the visibility to 1/4 of a mile. Temperature 53. At Quantico, with light rain and fog. Temperature 54. Winds northeast at 8 miles an hour. For Richmond, cloudy skies. It was 67. At Roanoke, light rain was occurring. Temperature 60 degrees. At Winchester, cloudy. Temperature 50. At New York, fog was reported. 45. At Philadelphia, fog was reported. 48. At Raleigh, cloudy skies. 67. Now for a few observations on the waters. At Washington Channel, the wind was northeast at 2 knots, and the water temperature was 55 degrees. At Piney Point, the wind was north at 3 knots. At Thomas Point, the wind was north at 10 knots, and the water temperature was 49 degrees. The current time is 8:35 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Here is a look at the weather features that will affect the region over the next several days. A cold front will pass through the region this evening. A few showers and perhaps a thunderstorm are possible ahead of the cold front. A clipper system will move through Saturday, bringing accumulating snow to the mountains. Much colder air will filter into the area behind the system on Sunday. Now for the official National Weather Service forecast for the Washington metro area and the surrounding listening area. Tonight, mostly cloudy. Patchy fog until midnight. Rain likely until midnight, then a chance of rain after midnight. Lows in the mid-40s. North winds around 5 miles an hour, becoming northwest after midnight. Chance of rain 70%. Friday, mostly sunny. Highs in the upper 50s. West winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Friday night, partly cloudy. Lows in the lower 40s. West winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Saturday, partly sunny with a 50% chance of rain. Highs in the mid-50s. West winds 10 to 15 miles an hour with gusts up to 30 miles an hour. Saturday night, partly cloudy with a chance of rain until midnight, then mostly clear after midnight. Lows in the mid-30s. West winds around 15 miles an hour with gusts up to 25 miles an hour. Chance of rain 50%. Sunday, partly cloudy. Highs in the upper 40s. Monday, mostly clear. Highs in the mid-40s. Lows in the upper 20s. Tuesday, mostly cloudy. A chance of rain and snow. Highs in the upper 40s. Lows in the mid-30s. Chance of precipitation 30%. Wednesday, mostly cloudy. A 30% chance of rain. Highs in the lower 60s. Lows in the upper 40s. Thursday, mostly cloudy with a 50% chance of rain. Highs in the upper 60s. Lows in the mid-40s. This hazardous weather outlook is for the Maryland portion of the Chesapeake Bay, tidal Potomac River, and I-95 corridor through central Maryland, northern Virginia, and District of Columbia. Day 1, tonight. No hazardous weather is expected at this time. Days 2 through 7, Friday through Wednesday. No hazardous weather is expected at this time. Spotter information statement. Spotter activation is not expected at this time. Now for the National Weather Service marine forecast for the Chesapeake Bay from Pools Island to Drum Point. Tonight, north winds 5 knots, becoming northwest after midnight. Waves 1 foot. Rain likely. Patchy fog. Visibility 1 to 3 nautical miles. Friday, west winds 10 to 15 knots with gusts to 20 knots. Waves 1 to 2 feet. Friday night, west winds 5 to 10 knots. Waves 1 to 2 feet. Saturday, west winds 10 to 15 knots with gusts to 20 knots. Waves 1 to 2 feet. A chance of rain. Saturday night, west winds 15 to 20 knots with gusts to 25 knots. Waves 2 feet. Sunday, northwest winds 15 to 20 knots. Waves 2 feet. Now for the National Weather Service marine forecast for the tidal Potomac from Key Bridge to Smith Point. Tonight, west winds 5 knots. Waves less than 1 foot. Patchy fog until midnight. Rain likely until midnight, then a chance of rain after midnight. Visibility 1 to 3 nautical miles. Friday, west winds 10 to 15 knots with gusts to 20 knots. Waves 1 to 2 feet. Friday night, west winds 5 to 10 knots with gusts to 20 knots. Waves 1 to 2 feet. Saturday, west winds 10 to 15 knots with gusts to 25 knots. Waves 1 to 2 feet. A chance of rain. Saturday night, west winds 10 to 15 knots with gusts to 25 knots. Waves 2 feet. Sunday, northwest winds 10 to 15 knots. Waves 2 feet. This is a statement from the National Weather Service. Small craft advisory now in effect until...
Alrighty, guys, we are back here. Sorry about the little bit of a break here. Like I said, we usually take a break at 8:30. So like I said, if you guys are just now joining us, welcome. Hope you guys are doing good. Hope all of y'all are staying safe here. You know, there's a lot of craziness going on between severe weather and just what's going on here and in general. So we're going to go ahead, guys, and switch right on back here to the radar view. Like I said, there is a few things that's going on here at the moment. Like I said, we have a small severe threat here for today. Okay, so basically what's going on here is we have a marginal risk for severe weather across the mid-Atlantic. This is basically the lowest and severe threat here. This goes from a scale of 1 to 5. We're on a 1, okay? So we're the lowest chance for severe weather, but it is still a possible chance here across southeastern Virginia, northeastern bits of North Carolina, as well as far down south across east central bits of Florida. This does include Orlando, bits of Port St. Louis here, Haines City as well, just north of West Palm Beach, currently going off here. So that's what we're dealing with, guys. Like I said, there is a bit of, small chance here for severe weather. We do have a bit of, convective showers and maybe some thunderstorms moving its way through the region here across the D.C. metro area here. But other than that, guys, we have a small chance for severe weather for today, but it's nothing near as crazy as we have seen it over the last 2 days. Like I said, we had a pretty big old outbreak that did occur across bits of the southern plains as well as the southeast. It was pretty sad to see, and like I said, I was just glad I was there for you guys. I'm glad that I was able to live stream for you all that day. Like I said, it was very, very sad to see, and prayers goes out to all of you guys out there who were affected by it and all that stuff like that. So seriously, it was really, really sad to see. But hopefully I made an impact, and like I said, we're gonna continue doing this here, guys, and until the end here. So like I said, over the next few days after this, we're not really expecting any any close severe weather events here in regard to things, which is some good news. So all the severe weather, we're kind of holding a break here for a second. Now I'm sure you guys are clicking on the thumbnail and wondering, okay, well, what's going on with the snow here? Okay, let's go ahead and get onto that here right now. So like I said, we were talking about this a little bit earlier here. We're gonna go ahead and switch right on back here to my screen view. So this is Gfs Model. This is basically your American model, your long-range American model. And if you guys do want to follow along with the time here, in regard to the date, it is right here. Let's go ahead and show you. So this shows Thursday, March 24th. I could probably draw that a little bit better here. Thursday, March 24th, 2022. Okay? So that's if you guys want to follow along in the terms of the date. So basically what's going to happen here is obviously we have all this cold front moving its way through the region here. This was that system that did cause all the craziness across southeast and southern plains here. This will move out of the way here and be totally out of the air here for tomorrow. Now here's what happens. There's a bit of interesting things that does kick off here. Maybe some snow across bits of the upper Midwest here. Across bits of Wisconsin. Maybe some across bits of, bits of Minnesota. Minnesota as well. Moving its way through the Ohio Valley. Maybe some snow as well across bits of the Northeast. Now here's where things get pretty interesting here. Okay, so we're going to watch this. So we have you might notice all this green here. So first of all, I should probably mention that this is the precipitation type. Essentially what this shows, I'm sure you guys probably know how to read this, but just if you don't, the green is basically showing some rain and the blue is basically showing some snow. If you see some pink, it's basically showing some ice. So that's essentially what this means. So as we do track down here in time, you'll notice that we get a lot of moisture driving its way across the western side of the United States here. A lot of interesting stuff happening here. It's only going to get more interesting as we do track down here down the line. So you might notice that we get some rain showers and some snow showers. Some snow across those upper elevations where it is a little bit more chilly here. Now, here's what happens. All this moisture is going to wrap in and drive its way into the central U.S. Now, what's going to happen once this happens is this thing's going to get basically to an organization state here. You notice kind of these weird lines here. These are what we call isobars. These basically just, separate the areas of equal pressure. In regard to this is millibars, but that's a little bit, if you guys know pressure systems, usually most people go by inches, but here in meteorology, we mostly go by millibars or HPA. We usually go by that. So this is basically just represented in millibars, it's just pressure, okay? So a low pressure system drives some stormy conditions. A high pressure system drives the opposite here. So we get a new area of low pressure that starts developing here across the central U.S. Now remember, we have a lot of moisture in play here across the western side. So this is going to gather all of this moisture, as you're about to see here on the next few frames, and just shove it right there where that low is. So go ahead and track down here a little bit further here. So here's where things start to get really interesting. Like I said, this area of low pressure is really starting to kick off here. It's really starting to strengthen here. We get a lot of snow starting to fall across those upper elevations, as well as bits of the central plains. Maybe across bits of Kansas, as well as maybe Nebraska here. Colorado being a likely case scenario here. Maybe some ice, like I said, represented here in the pink. Basically a little bit up north. Now you'll notice we start to get this pretty strong green line. I mean, it looks perfectly, curved here. This is our cold front, kind of similar to what we just seen drive its way through the region here. Cold front, usually sometimes can cause severe weather here. So we're going to continue watching this cold front. Like I said, this thing might draw up enough energy to allow for maybe some storms to fire off here. So we're going to see what happens. We are going to see what happens here. So maybe some thunderstorms on the southern edge here, across bits of southeast could be possible for the later portion of this month. Late end, maybe up to the 30th, 31st. We'll see what happens. Like I said, this needs some monitoring here, but it's definitely not ruled out. Like I said, this has been trending here for the last little bit here. James says, in the long-range outlook, middle of next week, it looks like a big warm-up again for us in the east after this cold shot. That is what we are looking at here. Oh, definitely, for sure. Richard says, love your shirt. Where did I get it? So, actually, I got this shirt. This is a Noah shirt. You can get it on Amazon, I'm pretty sure, but I got this one from my girlfriend's mom for Christmas. I have one just like it. But, obviously you can never have too many Noah shirts. They're awesome. So I believe you can get them on Amazon if you are wanting to get one for yourself. So speaking in regard to merchandise, like I said, we have opened a merch store here. We opened a merch store here. If you guys do want to check it out, obviously you don't have to. But if you guys would be interested, it's on our community page. You guys can check that out here. It's second to latest post, other than my little bit of a laugh I got out of that piece of straw, but it sounds stupid. It is pretty stupid. But anyways, it's on the community page if you guys do want to check that out. But like I said, basically what's going on here is that cold air starts backing in behind it, basically replacing all that warm air that's driving its way ahead of this cold front. Like I said, the cold front's located right here. So, these systems rotate counterclockwise. So you can imagine, they're pretty simple systems. I mean, they basically just draw up a whole bunch of air. I think the Gulf of Mexico is pretty warm. A lot of evaporation, a lot of moisture being injected into the atmosphere here. And all this will move on land, ahead of the cold front. That's why it's usually a little bit warm before the storm hits. It's because all that warm air that you're getting is from the Gulf of Mexico, obviously where it is a bit warm. So essentially what happens is, like I said, these things rotate to the counterclockwise, or basically to the, basically from the right to the left, okay? That's basically where, that's how they rotate here. So that cold air backs down behind it. You got to think higher you go up, higher you go up north in latitude. Essentially, the more colder it does get. Like I said, Canada, you think of pretty cold temperatures. Obviously, more colder in Canada than it is kind of here towards the Gulf of Mexico. So you got to think all that cold air drives its way down here because it's pulling all that air down here because it's rotating counterclockwise here. And the opposite effect does happen on the other side. All that warm air starts driving its way up here. So you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. That's essentially how these systems work. They're relatively simple. And that boundary between where your cold air and your warm air meet, that is right where your cold front is at. That warm air in front of it, cold air behind it. That's essentially how this works. So then you have the interaction between your cold and warm air, which causes thunderstorms to fire off here. And, that's a possibility. Like I said, not all cold fronts do produce, thunderstorms and severe weather, but for this time of the year it becomes way more common. Like I said, we are just now starting to move into spring. We are in spring now, have been for the last 4 days. Obviously it's here because everything's starting to bloom, and unfortunately allergies are starting to get pretty bad. I used to never have that problem, but over the last few years it's slowly became more of a problem. Richard says thanks. Very, very welcome, Richard. But yeah, there is a possibility of this, guys. So this is what we're looking at. Like I said, we'll go ahead and track down here a little bit further. This does show that snow driving its way up here to the north, across bits of the Central Plains, obviously. Driving its way across the upper Midwest. Maybe some snow here being possible. Maybe some ice as well, kind of across the pink and kind of almost red shaded color. The red's kind of showing more sleet, basically the small little ice pellets. And the pinkish purple, kind of showing more freezing rain. Like I said, it looks like rain. It looks just like rain, but once it falls and it collects on things, it basically it freezes, which then it basically turns into ice. It looks like normal rain at first, but once it freezes, it's a little bit more dangerous than just normal rain here. So, like I said, it's been in the models here for a little bit. We'll see what happens here. Like I said, we are supposed to get a big shot of moisture across the western U.S. New area of low pressure developing across the Central Plains, tracking its way up here to the northeast, maybe delivering some snow, maybe some severe weather. Like I said, we're gonna go ahead and see exactly what happens here. Essentially. So, I'll tell you what, guys, we're going to go ahead and move here back a run. So, like I said, this is the later run here for today in Gfs Model. We're taking a look at the same model, don't get me wrong, but we're taking a look here at a different run, basically the run previous before this here. So, essentially what happens here is the same thing. Cold front moves way off the region here. Same thing. That moisture drives its way across the western U.S. Some snow falling across those upper elevations. Area of low pressure develops across the Central Plains here. And look at this. Wraps in a lot of moisture here. So there is a little bit of a difference here between this previous run, which is why I'm saying, it still needs to be ironed out a little bit here. A little bit less snow according to this model, but it's still showing a little bit here being possible. Like I said, this is totally different compared to what the last run has to say. And it seems like over the last few runs here today, it seems like each latest run is kind of showing a little bit more snow. Like I said, it really just depends on how cold the atmosphere is going to be, as well as essentially how much moisture and how strong this area of low pressure is going to be. That determines a lot in terms of what we might expect here. So, like I said, we'll watch it here over the next little bit. So, but yeah, like I said, guys, that's essentially what we're talking about. Possible for some severe weather again across the southeast for the later portion of this month, and maybe some winter weather across these regions here. These are kind of our major watch areas here. Maybe some snow going on here. Possible snow and possible severe weather. I bet I can't fit all that inside that circle. But yeah, you get the point here. That's essentially what we're expecting here at the moment. But as of now, over the next few days in regard to things, switching back here to the radar view, we have a small little threat here of severe weather across bits of the mid-Atlantic, across the dark green. Nothing too crazy, but there is a small chance. You should monitor it locally. There's a 2% chance you could see a tornado, as well as a 5% chance you could see some damaging winds. Relatively low chances. It is the lowest end of the spectrum, but possibility is still there. Same thing for, basically east central Florida here as well. Maybe showing the possibility of some, same threat. Across to Orlando. This does include bits of Port St. Lucie, just north of West Palm Beach. In regard to things, this is literally just right here on the borderline of Daytona Beach. Daytona is also included inside of this here. Let's go ahead and say here, Nexus says, hello, what's up, Nexus? Welcome back to the live stream. Glad to see you here. Nexus says, how is Texas looking for this storm? That is a very good question here. I'll tell you what. We're going to go ahead and switch back on over here. So, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the latest model. Like I said, this has been trending in a bit more of favor. So, for Texas, it does kind of show some initiation of, that's actually kind of where the cold front is expected to originate from, it looks like. According to GFS, and like I said, be aware that things can likely change here by this time. Because, like I said, it's still a bit far out. But I will say that this is just now starting to move into the area here. We should monitor this. Maybe maybe showing the possibility of maybe some storms, some showers firing here across bits of central Texas, and eventually towards the eastern area here. This might impact Dallas. We'll see what happens. We'll see exactly what happens here. This is for the 30th into the 31st. So obviously, we still have a little bit to go here before that does happen. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see just how this plays out here over the next few days. Like I said, guys, if you are new to the channel, do me a favor, consider hitting that subscribe button. Be greatly appreciated, guys. We're right here. We're almost here at 580, guys. I believe we can do it here relatively soon. So thank you all so much for supporting us. You guys rock. Just always know that none of you guys are the best here, and seriously, just thank you once again for everything, guys. You guys are the best. But yeah, that's essentially what we're looking at, guys. Like I said, nothing too crazy here over the next few days, being like the next 3 days, but we should definitely watch this upcoming storm. We should definitely see what is going to happen here. we're gonna definitely see what happens here down the line. So, but anyways, guys, like I said, we are moving our way here to the end of the live stream here for tonight. Like I said, we go live here every single night from 8 to 9. Take a break at 8:30 here. So now is the time. The last 5 minutes is directly to you guys. If you have any questions, obviously I answer your guys' questions here, regardless of what time it is. But if you have any further questions, guys, now's the time to answer them. We're gonna go ahead and head on to the other view here for a second. But like I said, guys, this is just something we have to continue watching here over the next few days. Definitely something we should not completely ignore. It's something we should watch here because, like I said, this has been showing up in the latest models here for a little bit. So we're gonna see what happens. We'll see what happens with the system. A lot can change here in the next week here, for sure. That can definitely change here. But like I said, guys, thank you all so much for joining us here tonight. You guys are the best. Always know that here. Next, it says that last storm was crazy. It sure definitely was. Is this looking similar? So no. As of now, it's not really trending similar. But like I said, a lot can change. This one's showing a lot less instability here. Obviously, we have a bit of energy driving its way through. This one's kind of showing, a little bit less instability in the atmosphere. But like I said, obviously, you expect this to change because that's kind of how the other event started off. Was a little bit less instability, but it quickly turned into more of the models trending here. So we'll see it. Like I said, do not be surprised if this does get an uptrend, considering we are moving into spring here, and this becomes a little bit more common. A little bit more, common here. Like I said, so that's what we're talking about. If you guys have any further questions, feel free to throw them down the chat here. I can tell you what, we're going to go ahead and head on to the ending screen here. We'll be live here for a few more minutes in regard to things here. We'll go ahead and be live here for an additional 4 minutes. But right now, guys, if you have any questions, now's the time to ask them here. And like I said, guys, if you're new to the channel, consider hitting the subscribe button. Be greatly appreciated. You guys are the best. Just always know that. Thank you all so much for your support here recently. I didn't even see that Courtney was in here. What's up, Courtney? Welcome to the live stream. Or did I? I don't even remember. But anyways, Courtney, welcome. Glad to see you here. But like I said, you all, thank you all so much for joining us here tonight. Like I said, if you have any further questions, even if you are joining here after the stream, you guys can contact us on social media. All of that is in the description as well. Like I said, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Discord, is all in the description. So if you guys do want to check that out, it is there for you all. Like I said, if you want to, message me or whatever, if you have any, personal question in regard to weather, yeah, feel free to do so, and I will do the best I can to give you most accurate forecast you possibly imagine. But like I said, guys, thank you all so much for joining us tonight. We're going to go ahead and head off here in about 2 minutes. So, like I said, guys, if you do want to support the channel, like I said, we are trying to save up here for a new computer. So, it's kind of crazy how expensive computers are here nowadays. But, like I said, we are trying to save up here for a new computer because, like I said, mine's getting a little bit old here, and I want to be able to continue streaming here for you guys and in regard to things. So, if y'all do want to support the channel, link is in the description as well as pinned in chat. Link is active anytime. So, yeah, but obviously you don't have to. It would just help us out a lot, guys. You guys just being here, obviously, it's just a lot. So, but anyways, guys, it is now here almost 11:59. So we're gonna go ahead and head on off here for tonight. Like I said, y'all, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Hope you guys stay safe and hope you guys are doing all right. Like I said, if you have any further questions, guys, feel free to reach out to me on social media and whatever. Just do what you guys got to do. Like I said, I'll be here for you guys. But y'all, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for the live stream here for tonight. Like I said, if you are new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button. We're just 2 subscribers away here from 580. We're so close, you guys. Thank you all so much once again. You guys are the best. Like I said, we do live streams here every single night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time until 9 o'clock. So, glad I was able to be here for you guys here for tonight. But once again, y'all, thank you all so much for being here. And I'll catch you guys here in the next one. See you later, guys.
Waves less than 1 foot. Patchy fog until midnight. Rain likely until midnight, then a chance of rain after midnight. Visibility 1 to 3 nautical miles.